What's up, everybody? We're back with another AMC financial astrology update for the up and coming week starting on June 7th. And we got an exciting one for you guys because we have another eclipse. The last time we had the eclipse was on the 26th of May, and we all saw what's been happening after that. So this week is definitely looking like it's going to be a big week. I have a lot to tell you, especially since this new moon eclipse is happening right on top of that Mercury retrograde. That's looking very, very suspicious and very, very interesting. So if you guys like content like this, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to show support, and let's get right into it. Welcome to the Market Moon Lord, where we merge the matrix with the stars. I'm your host, Jason Alexander, the blue moon of Neptune, here to help you navigate through the illusions of life. Remember, there's a part 1 to this video. It's 10 minutes long, but it's the foundation to this DD. So before you watch this one, make sure you watch that one. Okay, so as you can see, we have Monday, June 7th pulled up right at market open 9:30. And this is the chart for AMC. And if you're new here, we do this each and every week since this whole thing started back in late July. And this is AMC's chart. And at this point, guys, it is so much easier to know what's going to happen after we've done all this DD on AMC's financial astrology. And now that we've seen a lot of history based on a lot of these transits, we can definitely start making some tighter predictions, which is fucking amazing. Okay, so the first thing that I see that's very, very interesting is Venus just jumped into Cancer last week, okay? And now is getting deep into Cancer, and is going to make an exact trine on Monday to the North Node. Now, since there's on this exact program, it doesn't give us the line to the North Node. But yes, as you can see, Venus is currently 6 degrees, and the North Node over there is 6 degrees. So that is very, 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 very interesting. Okay, not to mention Venus is activating AMC's moon and is also activating AMC's Jupiter. Okay, now this activation between the moon and Jupiter is going to be very expansive energy for AMC, simply because Venus represents like people and communication and abundance, and it represents money, and Cancer represents the people, the public, the masses. Okay, so having Venus goes in there shows a lot of communication to AMC, shows a lot of people flocking to AMC, and it can also show, since Venus represents partnerships, deals, balance, it could also show that there could be some potential, merger activity. I've been saying that for a few weeks now. It's still looking like that, okay? And now Venus hitting the North Node. Remember, North Node is like destiny, okay? North Node is like pushing us to our future, okay? Having Venus there, someone could say new relationships, making a trine to your North Node, can bring in new relationships, definitely can bring in more money, especially since AMC's North Node is in the sign of Scorpio, which represents resources, okay? Represents things coming out of the darkness, sudden changes, okay? Sudden transformations. So definitely expect that type of thing coming in the next weeks, is sudden changes, sudden transformations. And if we suddenly have some really good news on mergers or some deals that have been taking place in the dark Scorpio energy, don't be surprised, okay? Do not be surprised. Remember, this new moon eclipse is happening right on top of this Mercury retrograde, okay? So I'm very, 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 very suspicious in seeing that. So the last time Venus was trying the North Node and conjunct the moon was in 2020 in April, and that started let me see, I pulled up my notes. So 2 days before that, we had a -20, and then a -20% the day after that, and then after that, we had a +4% and then a +10%. Okay, so we did just have some negative days, right? And that seems to be right into alignment on what the history shows when Venus is here before. Now, when it was here in 2019, we just had a 4% day. So it was nothing too crazy, but it does look like it's more positive than negative when Venus is right there making a trine to AMC's North Node. Now, the very next thing that I want to talk about is the fact that Mars is in late degrees Cancer, kind of making that climax energy at the end of Cancer. So I definitely suspect there to be to finish with almost like a bang. Mars represents energy and is debilitated in Cancer, so it feels a little funny. All right, so it might get a little mixed results here. Right now, it's making an exact, well, not exact, but an opposition to Venus again. Okay, so there's more Venus activity. We go over to Venus over here, and it's conjunct Pluto. Okay, so we have this Venus making an aspect to the North Node, and it's making a square to Mars over here, and then we have the transiting Venus opposite, or transiting Mars opposite of Venus. Okay, now suspicious. Okay, Mars can represent cutting. Mars is a soldier. Can represent fighting. Mars is opposite energy of Venus. Venus is love. Okay, Mars is the soldier. All right, Venus rules love. Mars rules hate, or war. Not necessarily hate. It rules war. Okay, warfare. So Venus, both Venus is getting some serious turbulence from Mars. Okay, so obviously we're in a war. That's definitely going to continue. Remember, Mars represents surgery, so things can get cut here for sure. And I did look into the past. Most of the time, Mars is in late degrees of Cancer. We do see some red. Nothing too significant, not like a major red day, but we typically do see red. And if it's not red, it's kind of neutral. At the very least, it's definitely going to bring in energy. But I think what's suspicious about this is both Venuses are getting hit by Mars. So fast, quick energy. Okay, and it can really go either way when it comes to Venus and Mars, and it's about balance. Okay, now I can say Mars is really weak right here in the sign of Cancer, and then also AMC's Mars is really weak in the signs of Libra, because Libra is opposite of where it's supposed to be of Aries. Okay, and Cancer is it's debilitated in Cancer because it's exalted in Capricorn, where it becomes a master strategist, and Cancer just becomes sensitive, doesn't know what to do. So very, very interesting dynamics here. Okay, so clearly Monday is going to be volatile. Clearly Monday is most likely going to start off with a bang. Now here's some really, really good news. Look at what's happening with the moon. The moon is making a sextile to Jupiter. We know Jupiter likes to expand. The moon represents the masses, the people. Okay, and it's like gravity. There's a lot of like energy wherever the moon goes. First of all, it's in its exalted position, meaning it does best in Taurus. Okay, opposite, it does worse in Scorpio. Now the fact that it's in Taurus, especially before a new moon, this is a very stubborn energy. Okay, Taurus is the most stubborn sign of the zodiac. Okay, and it's almost a fixated energy. So we have Mars energy going on, the planet of war, and now we have some Taurus energy going on, which is the sign of the Taurus, the bull. So maybe that's a sign right there. But Taurus is also a fighter. Okay, so I definitely don't expect anyone to be rolling over. Not on our side and not on their side coming into Monday. Now, what I can say is Jupiter sextiling this moon is very beneficial for us, okay? Both this moon is exalted, and the Jupiter over here in Cancer for AMC is also exalted. So that, to me, that's a very good sign. And I did go into the past on this one. In March 2021, on the 19th, we hit our high of $14.48, and that was on the day where the moon was making this trine to or sextile to Jupiter. Okay, and then when it happened on February 19th, it started a 4-day bull run that went over 34%, and then when it happened January 22nd, we had a plus 17%. So yeah, based on this historical aspect, on AMC, it looks like when the moon is making the sextile to Jupiter in the sign of Taurus, we usually get really good energy, really good results. So I'm thinking Monday is going to be green. Now, other than that, I want to really focus on the eclipse, because basically whatever happens on eclipse is obviously going to have a lasting effect. Okay, so it does look like Monday is going to be volatile. We have a lot of this Mars energy. Okay, so I won't be surprised if we do see some cuts. Okay, but also with the moon being where it's at, I also wouldn't be surprised if we see some very positive movements on the green side. We definitely don't have any Saturn energy going on, so that always gives me the green light that we can go green. Okay, but when Saturn's not involved, we can be very volatile. Okay, very volatile, and we got a lot of Mars energy going on. But Monday, at the very least, looks exciting. So let's take a peek at Tuesday, but I really want to focus on the overall theme of the actual eclipse. Okay, on Tuesday we had a lot of change of energy, so I'm definitely expecting some more sparks on Tuesday, just based upon what changed. First of all, Mars is now making an opposition not only to the Venus, but now it's exact, but now it's making opposition to the actual ascendant of AMC. So it's like there's a ton of energy on AMC, all right? And Mars is at the second latest degree of Cancer, all right? So you know how I get when planets start entering those late degrees and the very beginning degrees, this climax energy, okay? AMC has a 0 degree ascendant. So yeah, I mean, we gotta remember, oppositions are an obstacle, that's an opportunity. And this looks like some serious warfare. Mars opposite Venus is a fight, okay? Mars opposite the ascendant, we gotta go to work, okay? And this is also happening opposite of Pluto, which is sudden changes, all right? So yeah, I'm fast, quick movement, still no energy on Saturn. Another suspicious thing that happened, look at what happened to Venus today. All right, so it wasn't making these squares yesterday on Monday, which would have been June 7th, but on June 8th it makes a square to Uranus and it has the square to Mars still. So it's hard to say, and it's because the thing about it is it's making a conjunction to the moon, and typically we have seen in the past where Venus is more positive than negative here, okay? But squares aren't ideal, okay? But at the very least, we can say that it brings the energy, especially when Uranus is involved, and that's volatility all day. Now, another very interesting thing that happened was, look what happened to Mercury. Mercury is now opposite Mercury, and whenever I see some Mercury energy happening on AMC, I do get excited because Mercury typically, when it gets aspected from, one of the slower moving planets, because it's been aspected Neptune for a long time, but when it gets aspected from the moon, when it gets aspected from Mercury, when it gets aspected from the sun, we typically see some really big moves, and sometimes we see some bad moves, okay, but most of the time it's a positive one, is we see some really good moves, but at the very least it's usually big moves, okay? Mercury opposite Mercury, this is suspicious because this Mercury is retrograde, first of all. So this Mercury is a little bit quiet, but remember, it's also in Gemini, so it's not that quiet, and it's also opposite Mercury and Sagittarius is fire, it's all about expression, okay? So this week, yeah, definitely big news, and Tuesday can definitely be volatile. And then when we look at what's happening to the moon that day, it's now making a trine to Venus, and it's almost like Venus was getting kind of hit heavy with all that Mars energy, and then the moon slid in there and it's helping it out, and the moon is also exalted, stabilizing things, okay? So maybe Tuesday becomes a little bit more stable, but at the least, yeah, Tuesday definitely looks volatile, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get some type of news, but you see how the moon is coming up to the sun right here? I definitely expect an event when that happens on the new moon. But I also want to mention on Tuesday, the moon will be leaving Taurus and going to a quick moving sign, Gemini. So yeah, things can move quickly on Tuesday when the moon goes into Gemini, and let's see exactly when that was. So we have 3:30 on Tuesday up, okay? And look at what's happening to the moon. The moon just went 0 degrees Gemini, and look, it's now making an exact trine to the ascendant, okay? And in the past, this has moved the stock in a positive way. So yeah, let's look for after-hour moves on Tuesday. All right, so now I have Wednesday pulled up. What really changed was happened to the moon. It's now making a sextile to Uranus 0 degrees. Typically, when the moon is here, we are green, okay? So I'll just leave it at that. That's typically a really good aspect. But when we look at Venus is shaking things up this week, all right? Look at what happened to Venus. All right, it had the sextile from the moon on Tuesday, but then on Wednesday, it's now getting a square from Uranus. That's definitely volatility, and it's still opposite Pluto, and now it's even more conjunct the moon, okay? So Venus, I don't know. I'm expecting some deals being made, some new mergers. I know Adam wants to buy some other movie theaters. That's probably going to happen. I'm not going to be surprised if we finally get those celebrities talking more about AMC, because remember, Venus is the celebrity, it is the artist, it is the actress, the actor. Man, maybe finally they're going to start participating in this situation, okay, and start fighting for AMC along with us. Could you imagine if Brad Pitt was like, okay, I'm going all in on AMC? Brad Pitt is a Libra, now that I think about it, which is a Venus sign. All right, so maybe the Venus signs movie movie actresses and actors are going to start speaking up, okay? Because all this Venus energy on AMC is very, very, very interesting to me. Based on the past, the moon being where it's at is a pretty good sign for it to be green. Still a lot of Mars energy going on here. Still a lot of Venus turmoil going on here. But I'm not going to lie. This week so far, I'm pretty bullish on it. Now, I'm most excited to you guys to talk to you about on Thursday, because Thursday is the eclipse that I know I'm waiting for. Okay, so just to give everyone perspective, the very last time we had an eclipse since the whole shebang was on May 26th. And that was a more powerful full moon than any of these other powerful moons, including the full moon that started this entire situation. Okay, so clearly eclipse have a major, bigger effect on AMC stock, and it lasts longer. Okay, so this eclipse, this new moon eclipse at that, is extremely important. And I'm actually very happy that we started dipping late into Thursday and Friday, because if we kept going up into this new moon, I would be telling you guys, hey guys, we're probably unfortunately going to reverse. Okay, but since we are dipped and then we're going to go back up on the new moon, hopefully before the new moon we start going back up, that's a really good sign of a bull run up until the next full moon. Now, if you guys made it this far in this video and didn't see the part 1 of this video where I'm actually just focusing on the moon phases, that's the foundation of this DD, so you definitely want to go back and watch that. Now, also, if you guys appreciate this content and want to show support, please just like the video. And if you're new here, subscribe. We're doing this every single week. And if you guys want more DD, exclusive DD, and DD that you literally cannot get anywhere else, including this YouTube channel, on financial astrology, on anything outside of the matrix when it comes to doing DD on AMC, GameStop, crypto, check out the Market Moonlords at the Discord, where it's seriously going down every single day. And don't miss out. If you're a Moonlord, you got to be in there. As you can see, we have June 10th pulled up, and we're looking at 8:30 a.m. The moon is literally 1 degree away from the eclipse, but I went here because it's dead smack in between Mercury and the sun. So I just thought it was kind of cute to have the moon in between that. It's like a moon sandwich between Mercury and the sun. Okay, so the first thing I want to look at here on this new moon, especially since it's a solar eclipse, meaning it's an eclipse for the sun, I'm going to look at the sun and see what's happening with the sun. And the last time the sun was here, we definitely saw a 10% green day in 2020. Then when it happened in 2019, we saw a plus 4%. And then I went a couple years back. It was kind of neutral for the most part, but for the most part, it was green. Now, another really big, important aspect here, obviously, is the moon. We're having a new moon. And a new moon here in Gemini typically will give us good results as well. Now, but what's suspicious about this new moon is it's happening on an actual Mercury with the Mercury retrograde, not on a Mercury retrograde, but with the Mercury retrograde. Okay, so there is no new moon without this Mercury retrograde. Okay, so if you don't understand what Mercury retrograde means, I dropped a video last week before it even happened on what to expect, and a lot of that stuff did play out, but it's still in effect. I definitely suggest you guys just watch that video so I don't have to re-explain what Mercury retrograde means. But obviously this is significant eclipse. All right, eclipses are already significant, happening on the big theme of Mercury is already significant. But look, where is it happening on AMC? On top of Mercury. All right, look at AMC's Mercury. It's getting opposite from Mercury, Mercury opposite Mercury, Mercury opposite Moon, Mercury opposite the Sun. And that square to the Neptune's been there, but it's still in effect, okay? So, wow, Mercury we know is communication, deals, networking, paying attention to the details, organizing, strategy, Okay. This usually can also represent news. Okay. Now, the last time this Mercury was 20 degrees in the sign of Gemini was, well, I'm going to go back in 2018. It was neutral in 2018. In 2019, we had a plus 4%. And then in May, when Mercury is in this area, we had a plus 9% and a plus 11%. Okay, that was May 22nd through May 26th. Oh, excuse me, that was in 2020. In 2020, May 22nd through May 26th. Okay, we had a lot of green days, some neutral days, but those green days we had when Mercury was in that area, we had a plus 9% and a plus 11%. Okay, now I want to show you guys the news that was getting spoke about during the last time Mercury was here on AMC. Okay, so we know Mercury has to do with the numbers, the details, communication, deals, also has to do with just information in general when it comes to strategy, planning, the future. Mercury is all about intelligence and building the future, building what you're trying to build. Okay, Mercury just wants to, it represents Virgo, which is the last earth sign, and represents Gemini, which is the last air sign. So it's literally about communicating, planning, analyzing, and building and transforming. Okay, last sign of every element is the transformation of the element, is the adaptability of the element. Those elements, the last sign of the element wants to help all the other elements. Okay, so Mercury is a helper and it wants to build and communicate and strategize. So the last time Mercury was here, we could see all what we were talking about in AMC. They were talking about the future of AMC. Okay, and you can see AMC was looking pretty strong before the pandemic. Okay, now remember, Mercury retrograde is a time where we have to redo things. Okay, so maybe Mercury is almost like, okay, we had to go through all that mess, the pandemic, and now we kind of pick up where we left off, which is kind of interesting because before the pandemic, we saw numbers from the opening weekend on the movie, what's it called, the Quiet Place Part 2. That had bigger numbers than the first number opening weekend. Okay. Now the next thing I find interesting is it says COVID-19 hit the company like a meteor. Okay. So sometimes when Mercury goes back, we gotta re-experience things too. Okay. I can't help but to say Adam did talk about a pandemic coming back, right? And his interview with Trey. And now we're reading this article where it's all about this pandemic, all right around that time, where there wasn't sure about the future of AMC. So hopefully this means that we're over that hump. Okay, but Mercury retrograde here in the new moon could also say that we could be potentially dealing with that again, or something like that again. Or maybe we're getting FUD with COVID or pandemic type information. But again, remember, typically when Mercury's here, we see positive movement, okay, not negative movement. I'm just giving you guys some potential scenarios because when a retrograde happens, it's like a redoing situation. Okay. Now, another thing I want to bring up in this article, if you scroll down, they're talking about possible scenarios. Okay. We survived. All right. So that 20% probability will happen. Okay. And then AMC will survive but struggle. Okay. Well, we survived, so we're good. 50% right there. And then a 25% bankruptcy, that didn't happen. Okay, and then here China Wanda. Well, I mean they're out, but that probably helping us because they kept selling when we kept getting bull runs, right? And then look, number 5, 30% probability acquisition, and look what they're talking about, Amazon. Now I'm gonna go to another article. Okay. AMC Entertainment stock upgrades as bankruptcy risks appear to have subsided. Now, this was also around that time when Mercury was here. So we're in the same thing where we're talking about debt again on AMC and we're clearing it. So maybe this Mercury retrograde was us clearing debt, getting stronger, okay? And maybe Adam did make a really good move. I'm going to do a astrology update on Adam after this video, so you guys look forward or check that out. Now, the next article I want to show here during May 22nd, 2020, Amazon goes to the movies, all right? This is the Amazon acquisition coming back. All right, I saw this in like 3 weeks ago. We saw an aspect with this Amazon talk. We're seeing it again. Okay, so this new moon, I would not be surprised if we get some type of crazy merger energy. Okay, on the more negative end, we could have to re-experience some of that pandemic energy potentially. I doubt it, but hey, this is all happening in Gemini. Things can move quickly, but based upon history, this is looking like a bullish day, if you ask me. And when we look at the overall energies, I wasn't really focused on the outer planets on this video yet because they've been there for a long time. But when we're having a big moment like this, you definitely want to take a Snapchat of everything. All right. So really awesome energy. We have Venus conjunct the moon over here. That is amazing. Okay. That can definitely show some type of merger or some type of really good communication, some type of really good attention period on AMC. And it's opposite Pluto. Pluto represents takeovers. Okay. And because it's a power, Pluto's all about power and resources. Venus is all about mergers. Adam's talking about buying other theaters. I would not be surprised that it happens this week. Lots of that type of energy, okay? And I wouldn't be surprised with this Uranus energy that maybe we get some type of futuristic play that hasn't been done before. And I'm going to even stand by that some more when we see this Mars opposite the Sun at 0 degrees and opposite Venus 0 degree at the last degree of Cancer. So yeah, Thursday eclipse is definitely big. And another awesome thing I like to see is Jupiter went 2 degrees in Pisces conjunct Neptune 0 degrees. What? Are you joking? Jupiter conjunct Neptune 0 degrees. We've been waiting for that. All right, it's not exact, but that's exact enough for me. And this is right before Jupiter goes retrograde. So I'm extremely bullish on this new moon, but I cannot deny it's happening with Mercury retrograde. So it's almost, Mercury can really be playing with us on this one. We could be getting played with this Mercury retrograde. It could feel like we got played. But overall, based upon past transits, we're looking bullish. Based upon this Jupiter going 2nd degree on top of Neptune, we're looking extremely bullish. We definitely have some opportunity here, and we got a lot of Venus energy. When Venus always wants to give you positive results, Venus is a very beneficial planet. Okay, so at the very least, I'm so excited for Thursday eclipse, and I would not be surprised. If we squeeze. Actually, I take that back. We're not going to squeeze. I take that back, but I wouldn't be surprised. We're going to squeeze on a full moon. Now, the squeeze is going to happen around the full moon. But this could be the eclipse new moon that's leading to the full moon that's going to squeeze. So, yeah, I'm really excited for this eclipse. Moon Lords, what do you guys think? Do you guys feel like we are going to have some positive movement? I know some other people out there are astrologers. What do you guys think? If anyone has predictions, please let me know. I'm curious. And don't forget, if you guys are new and want to be part of the Market Moon Lord Discord, just check us out. Definitely exclusive DD. You literally cannot get anywhere else past what I'm doing. I mean, there's all kinds of people in there doing DD, and it's like past the normal DD, right? It's this is Market Moon Lord, where we merge the matrix with the stars. Okay, so we're not doing anything normal over here, and we're always going to be outside the box over here. So if you're an outside the box person, that's where you need to be. And don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to hit the like button if you guys enjoyed this video. So yeah, now we have Friday pulled up, and Friday's also looking good. Moon is coming to its home sign of Cancer, and AMC's moon is also in Cancer, and it's heading towards this Venus that's also in Cancer. So this is looking pretty interesting. And the day after the eclipse, the moon is making a positive trine to Neptune. So maybe we got rid of, or maybe we finally got rid of all that deception energy, or at the very least we handled it and we're on to the next situation. Okay, we're closing a chapter with some of that deception, hopefully. Or we could be just reopening a chapter, but it looks like we might be winning it, okay, at this point. So overall, I'm liking what I'm also seeing on Friday. Again, we have Mars energy heavy all week, okay, like literally all week. So I'm expecting a lot of just fast moving energy, a lot of volatility, especially during all this Gemini energy. So you guys might want to see where the new moon hits for you on or that eclipse hits for you in your own astrological chart. If you guys watched my video last time, I said for me it hit my second house, And obviously, we all got new money. Second house is your possessions. Now the new moon is going to hit opposite of where the eclipse was, or the first eclipse was, because the first eclipse was a lunar, meaning a full moon, and now this eclipse is a solar, meaning a new moon. Okay, so on this new moon, it's going to be opposite of where the other one was. So this time it's happening in my 8th house of investments. So I'm having new energy at this time of growth. So 8th house is sudden changes, but to me, hopefully it's going to be sudden changes to the upside, because we're in a new moon, and you guys know what new moon represents to me: new beginnings. Okay, so yeah, I'm very excited for Friday. I might even do a video just on the astrology on the eclipse that day, just to give you guys some more insight. But yeah, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for watching this video. I'm Jason Alexander, the Blue Moon of Neptune, here to help you navigate through the illusions of life. You're watching the Market Moon Lord, where we merge the matrix with the stars. This week, June 10th, we have a solar eclipse in Gemini with the Mercury retrograde. I'm very excited, and I hope you guys are too. Don't forget to hit that like button on the way out, and if you're new, subscribe. Until next time, peace.
Jason Alexander, the Blue Moon of Neptune.